Hello everyone, my name is Dee. Welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome back if you have been here before. Today we are going to be doing a quick reading to see what your person has or wants to say to you. Okay, messages from your person, what do they want to say, and then we will take some oracle cards to figure out the current energy of the connection between you both. With that said, this is a general reading, so please take what resonates and leave the rest. If it does not resonate with you, then it is not meant for you. For pile 1, we have green aventurine. For pile 2, we have labradorite. And for pile 3, we have clear quartz. Hello, pile 1, my green aventurine pile. Let's take a look at what your person wants to say to you. Okay, let's get some messages from your person out here first. Let's see, what does your person want to say to you, my pile 1s? Okay, we start out with no other compares to you. Okay, I just had to adjust my camera because I felt like it was shaking. But let's get some more messages out here, my pile 1s. We have, I know I screwed up and honestly have no idea how to fix it. I know I screwed things up. I feel damaged, like I just can't do this. Being apart has been life-changing for me. And I just have something else to do right now. Please try and understand. Now let's get some more messages. I've thought about reaching out to you, but then I stopped myself. You still hold a piece of my heart. You are never far from my mind. I see a little part of you in everyone I meet, and I am still haunted by my actions. So let me just adjust these on camera as best as I can. Okay, so now I want to pull a couple messages from a deck that I made a while ago, just for some additional messages before we start pulling oracle cards for the current energy. Okay, I don't know why I lied to you, but I couldn't care less about the repercussions of my lies. I'm trying to leave room for the oracle cards up top, so let's see. Oh, we have, am I enough for you? I feel bad about what happened between us. I wish I had the courage to explain myself, and that is where we will leave it as far as the messages. So I would say that for many of us, I always go into these types of readings with the intention that they could be in contact or be no contact. And then when I post, that's when I'll say, oh, some of these brought up no contact situations, or I will label it as a no contact reading. But I would say that for many of us that chose pile 1, it would make a lot more sense if the two of you were no contact with one another. I'm going to start to pull some oracle cards as I just sort of go through some of these. So I feel like some of these oracle cards are telling in the sense that this person seems to be very stuck on you, but not really knowing how to move forward. Okay, when it comes to this person, you still hold a piece of their heart. They still see a part of you in everyone that they meet. No one else compares to you, but they're not exactly tried to rectify things or reconcile with you at this point in time. This I just have something else to do right now card to me can signify at times that they have other responsibilities in their life that they are attending to. Sometimes for me, that will especially bring up that someone feels a lack of stability and security within their own life. And since this person doesn't feel settled in their life, they don't really feel like they have enough to offer you as far as being a partner or a provider or a supporter to you. Now, We also have some messages here that indicate that this person could have screwed up. Okay, we have, I'm pretty sure one of the cards, I know I screwed things up, and they don't know how to fix things between the both of you. I'm still haunted by my actions. They feel damaged. They know that they've lied to you in some way or another. They know that they've done something wrong within the connection, and they just haven't been able to explain or express themselves or their reasoning why they did whatever it is that they did to you. So for me, of course, this could bring up something like cheating or betrayal on the really bad end of things, and then it could also bring up something like inaction as well. You know, that this person never really took the chance, or this person never devoted their time, effort, and energy. This person did not prioritize you or prioritize the connection. Part of the lying, if it's not about cheating or betrayal, could be about them not fully, truly expressing themselves to you. They've never had the courage to do so, and so on and so forth. So I do hope that that makes sense, or some parts of it make sense for whoever this is meant to resonate for. Let's get some current energy out here. We have the Wicked card, so mischievous, naughty, harmful, dangerous, false portrayal, lie, cheat, beware. Okay, so long as we can see those bottom messages, I'll be happy. But to me, again, for some of us, this person really could have hurt us. This person could have been someone who, let's say, deserves to be haunted by their actions. And that would be because they are a liar, a cheater, or a betrayer, let's say. So for some of us, we were dealing with someone who did not treat us well. Okay, we have hello, distant, distracted, deep in thought, detached, aloof, not feeling it, find answers in music. For me especially, that card is going to bring up that, again, for many of us, this is a no or low contact situation with this person. Okay, we also have one date. Give it at least one date. It takes time to know someone. Take a chance. Switch up your type. So that to me can kind of, as far as current energy, just be a little message for you that maybe when it comes to our type, it's about time that we switch it up. It can be an indication that at times as well, this person does want to take that chance again. They're hoping that you give them, like for me, that instead of it being one date, which I know you can't see the top of the card, it's almost like one last chance. You know, are you ever going to be able to give this person that one last chance that they need to maybe prove themselves? However, I do feel like for many of us, this person's been given chances. Even if all this person had in the past was one chance to do the right thing, and they proved themselves to be incapable of doing it in some way or another. So now let's get some oracle cards from the rest of the deck. We have the Screw, not interested, leaving quickly, in trouble, getting shafted, horizontal jogging, and telling someone off. So what I find really interesting with that card in general is, again, when it comes to that not interested, maybe even at times, because we can see that this person's obviously interested in you, and we can see that they're stuck on you in some way. You know, if no other compares to you and they see a little part of you in everyone that they meet, you truly are, let's say, never far from their mind. You know, you're still very much so on their mind. I feel like part of the issue was when the two of you were closer, the two of you were in contact, etc., whatever the case might be for you and your person, I feel like they genuinely, at times, made it seem as though they were not interested. You know, they did not prioritize. They did not devote their time, effort, and energy. They didn't show you that they were willing to show up as an equal participant, let's say, in this relationship or in this connection. And that, of course, could have been something that caused for you to walk away. I feel like the leaving quickly on that Screw card can be an indication that at times this person either ghosted, ignored, neglected, etc., whether it was you yourself, whether it was your feelings, whether they were dismissive. This person at times was extremely distant, within the connection that you shared with them. Okay, we have the card Palm Tree, which to me would be an indication of, well, stability, security, permanence, growth, endurance, and flexibility. I feel like with that, it's like this person's hoping that the two of you at some point can go back to stability and security within the connection, but at the same time, this person isn't doing anything to get the two of you there. I also feel like the stability and security brings me back to that I just have something to do right now, or I just have something else to do. I just have to do something else right now. Please try and understand. I feel like, again, that can be an indication that either now or then, this person was very focused on feeling more stable and secure within their own life. This person was very focused on trying to feel more settled within their own life. And overall, that caused for there to be issues within the connection that you shared with them. You know, overall, they were not devoting their time, effort, and energy. They were not making sure that connection was stable and secure. They were more so focused on whatever responsibilities they might have had. You know, then again, not prioritizing, not putting in their time, effort, and energy. And then the last card to jump out is sunglasses. Watching, looking, stalking, gaslighting, perception, and focusing out. So for me, one thing that actually just came to mind, even with the focusing out, it's almost like they did a lot during the time when the two of you, let's say again, were in contact or were more closely connected. They did a lot of focusing outward. They weren't focusing on what they needed to do for the connection. They were focusing on external factors, whether that was their family, their friendships, their job, their school, whatever the case might be. And not that, you know, like family and friends and work and school aren't important. It's more so the fact that they completely neglected you, or neglected at times to give you the time of day with their distance and aloofness, that made it to where you were like, why the heck am I even why am I continuing to show up for this person, sort of thing. So I feel like that's another indication that when you guys were more closely connected, this person did a lot of focusing outward. You know, they focused on things outside of the connection a heck ton more than they focused on the connection itself. And that, again, caused you to feel unappreciated, you know, within this connection. I also feel like the gaslighting, perhaps, you know, maybe that was a way in which this person lied. Maybe this person was very manipulative and emotionally manipulative with you at times. But I more so feel like, too, when it comes to that watching and looking, not so much stalking, but when it comes to the watching and looking, there's a strong indication on that for me that this person perhaps keeps up with you. Maybe they follow you on social media if they aren't blocked. Like, maybe they follow you. Maybe you all have mutual friends and they ask mutual friends about you. But for me, that watching and looking will mainly bring up that they, you know, on some form of social media, perhaps this person is able to keep up with you in whatever it is that you're doing. So I hope that this made sense for those of us who it is meant for. Overall, it seems like to me this situation could feel rather stuck or stagnant. I feel like this person's hoping for that, you know, one last chance or one more chance within this connection. But it also still does not seem like they are settled, stable, and secure enough within their own life to be able to take that chance, you know, or to try to make that happen. For right now, it seems like they would still be distant or distracted because they're still focusing on all of these external things outside of the connection. I hope that makes sense in some way. Again, for those of us who it is meant for, thank you so much, my pile ones, and I hope that everybody has a wonderful day. Hello, my pile 2, my labradorite pile. Let's take a look at what your person has to say for themselves. Okay, let's see some messages from your person. What do they have to say to you? Okay, what is going on in your connection? What does your person want to say to you? Okay, you are special even though I told you otherwise. It's really hard for me to open up. I've thought about reaching out to you, but then I stopped myself. I'm trying to do the honorable thing. And you are never far from my mind. Some of these same cards jumped out for pile 1 as well. And pile 1 was about a no contact situation. So I kind of have a feeling this is gearing up to be no contact too. Let's get some more. I got spooked. I feel safer in the silence. I can't ignore the signs I'm receiving any longer. We have, I'm not the same person you remember. And how could you still love me after all I've done? So for me, I am at this point officially going to declare this a no contact reading, especially after that I feel safer in the silence card jumped out. I said the same thing for pile 1. I always go into these with the intention of no contact or in contact. So I have a feeling I will probably be labeling this as a no contact messages from your person reading by the time that I post it. We're going to get a few more messages out here. We have, please don't take this the wrong way, but I don't think I can be who you want or need me to be. This is on me, not on you. I have a hard time opening up. I need your help. I ignored the signs for way too long, or for too long, but I want to come back into your life now. So going to get some oracle cards out here as far as the current energy of this connection, but I would say that for right now many of us are low or no contact with our person. When it comes to this person, even with this, they've thought about reaching out to you, but they stopped themselves. They can't ignore the signs they're receiving any longer. And then we ended with that, I ignored the signs for too long, but I want to come back into your life now. All of that leads me to feel like the how could you still love me after all I've done is more so of a, how can you still love me after all I haven't done? I feel like this person had a very difficult time opening up to you, and perhaps if the two of you do reconnect, or when the two of you do reconnect with one another, this person's still going to struggle with opening up. This person's still going to struggle with emotional intimacy. And overall, I feel like this person just has a very difficult time expressing themselves. Okay, and I feel like the inaction within this connection, or the lack of this connection moving forward with one another in the past, and maybe perhaps even now in the present, is mainly due to your person. I feel like this card for me, the please don't take this the wrong way, but I don't think I can be who you want or need me to be, oftentimes comes through as this person, or as your person, feeling insecure with themselves, possibly fearing rejection. It just seems like to me that this person is honestly scared. You know, that they're scared. They're perhaps fearful of rejection. Maybe they don't feel settled within their own life. But for me, it's mainly going to bring up that this person's afraid, they're anxious. Maybe for some of us, we were friends with this person for a while, so there's some apprehension or hesitation to moving things forward because, again, fearing that rejection, maybe even fearing the dynamic change that it would have brought to the friendship you once had with one another. I feel like even with the I'm not the same person that you remember card, will also bring up for me, like, maybe this was an old friend. Maybe this was an old friend where there was always chemistry, but nothing ever happened between the two of you, and you yourself have always had what ifs when it came to this person. You know, you always thought, like, what if I would have done this? What if they would have done that? Whatever the case might be. So for me, this kind of reminds me of a what I would classify as a what if type of connection. You know, where nothing really quite happened, but there was a lot of chemistry and attraction And there was always seeming like something was going to go on between the two of you, where you've probably even had other people say, why haven't the two of you tried dating before? And so on and so forth. So I'm not sure if that makes sense to you. And we also have now photograph jumping out first. Photograph, looking at your pictures, missing you, nostalgia, make new memories. Even that card to me is going to bring up perhaps this being someone from your past. And of course, this could be an ex, and maybe what I was just going off about didn't exactly resonate with you. But for me, that photograph card, it's even, especially the nostalgia message, it does bring me back to this maybe for some of us being an old friend that we have a lot of, what ifs about, if that makes sense to you. So all in all, as always, take what resonates and leave the rest. Again, I feel like with that photograph card, even that to me will perhaps bring up that this connection is low or no contact, because this person is missing you. They're missing having your presence in their life. But again, it just feels like to me they never quite did anything about the connection to begin with. The looking at your photos could, of course, mean that maybe you and this person follow each other on social media. Maybe they look you up to see what it is that you're up to. And the make new memories for me is going to bring up that this person does want to make some type of contact with you again. This person does want to make some type of comeback. Even going to that you're special to me, even though I told you otherwise, this person might not have physically told you. Again, it brings me back to the inaction. That could also be a result of the how could you still love me after all I've done? And for me, feeling like it's more of a how could I still love you after all I haven't done? Because to me, this can be an indication that this person's actions toward you led you to believe or led you to feel that this person had no feelings for you when they actually did. Again, hope that makes sense in some way or another. Let's get some more oracle cards out here. Okay, we have the Phoenix, new phase, rekindle, renew, transformation, growth, changed mind. Had a bunch of cards spill out into my lap, so they're all going back. We have thinking, time is needed, don't make reactive or impulsive decisions, consider all perspectives. Okay, so for me, again, highlighting that this person does want to make some type of comeback, but they're still very, almost like shy. Like shy is a word that came to mind. Like this person's shy, they're apprehensive, they're hesitant, they're fearful, they're scared. I feel like, again, one of the main things that this person's perhaps been fearful of throughout time has been rejection. But that's definitely the number one thing that's coming to my mind. We have another card that's indicating time is needed. So island time, in your own time, take your time, active, have a relaxed attitude, be more lighthearted, and meditate. So there's two things that I want to say, especially when it comes to those two cards in the middle. The first thing being, I feel like this connection has played out over time. So time being needed, yeah, sure, maybe this person still needs more time, which I guess makes sense because they perhaps are still fearful. Maybe they still feel like they can't be who you would want, need, deserve, and desire. They're still having a difficult time opening up and expressing themselves. So yeah, perhaps time is still needed, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of time, like this connection has taken up a lot of time. Okay. To the point where when this person comes back or waltzes back into your life, it's going to be a very, this has been a long time coming type of situation. What I always say when it comes to waiting around for someone is that we should never wait around for anyone else, because when we wait around for someone else, we are missing out on meaningful connections for ourselves. So I never recommend to wait around for anyone, but obviously these cards are saying time is needed. But this person, to be honest, doesn't, I guess I'll put it this way. which might sound harsh or hurtful. I'm not trying to be harsh or hurtful. I'm only trying to deliver what I'm getting as openly and honestly as I possibly can. This person doesn't seem worth waiting around for, especially if it resonates in the sense of this person being an old friend. There always being these what ifs between you and this person, because this person still seems, maybe they've gotten a little bit more confident in themselves, but this person still seems to be almost just as insecure as when you left them in the past. So if they still need more time to figure their own shit out, it's kind of not worth your time to be waiting around for this person. The other thing that I want to say with the thinking card and island time card is we have do not make reactive or impulsive decisions, along with have a relaxed attitude and be more lighthearted. This to me is strongly indicative of allowing the connection to unfold naturally. And what I feel from that is like this card, for example, it says, I have a hard time opening up and I need your help with that. First of all, first and foremost, again, I don't know if I'm going to catch flack for saying this, but they don't need your help. They need to help themselves. You know, like they need to build up their own confidence. They need to learn how to express themselves for themselves, not because you help drag it out of them. And now that we've got these two current energy cards coming out with the message of allow for the connection to unfold naturally, that's basically urging for you to just continue doing whatever it is that you're doing. If you haven't spoken to this person in however long, it's literally urging you not to reach out to this person. It's also coming up with a message of, that this person, they will, almost like they will reach out when they are ready to. Okay, and until they do that, they're still not ready. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, we have the dragonfly. Again, be lighthearted, finding out, things coming to light, adapt, change, and heal. And I feel like at this point in time, I feel like for you yourself, you've probably already adapted, changed, and healed. You've probably done the inner work that you've needed to do. But again, we have this message of be lighthearted. And I feel like all in all, when it comes to this connection, perhaps what we're being urged to do, especially if we are, let's say, in low contact with this person, it's almost like, I'm not sure how this is going to resonate. I'm not sure if it will resonate with anyone. Or again, I'm not sure if it's going to get me a whole bunch of hateful comments left for me. But it's almost this message of don't be pushy with this person. If you are still in communication with this person, or if this reading drums something up for you and you feel compelled to reach out to them, keep things extremely lighthearted. Literally, hi, how you doing? What you been up to? Because if you push this, that's the vibe that I get from this. If you push this person, they're going to run. If you push this person, they're not going to open up to you. They're going to get spooked again and they're going to run. And then this person will feel safer in the silence, and the two of you will be no contact with one another once again. So I don't know of how else to say the advice other than not like you would be pushy with this person, but don't try to push this person's boundaries, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Which I guess also boils down to don't be pushy. If you are going to reach out to this person, or if you have reached out to this person recently, try to keep things as lighthearted as you possibly can. Allow for this connection to unfold naturally. Allow for this person to grow and to change and to heal at their own pace. Because you trying to, again, I guess I'll use the word pushy, you trying to be pushy with this person is only going to make them run further. So I hope that makes sense. Maybe that resonates with someone out there. But I hope that makes sense in some way. We then finish with the healing heart card. Healing from heartbreak, freedom from toxic relationship or addiction. I more so feel like out of anything, it's just the fact that the two of you right now, and maybe especially your person, is trying to focus on their own healing. And maybe that's why, maybe they know that one of the major things that took place in the past within this connection is that they didn't do what they needed to do. They didn't open up. If things were seemingly going in the direction of moving forward toward a romantic relationship, or if things got a little bit too, I almost feel like too, even if things got a little bit too flirty between the both of you, this person would retract. You know, whether it's that they would immediately do it, or maybe then you would hear from them less, whatever the case might be. I don't know. I just get this vibe that at times this person was very flirtatious with you. There's a lot of chemistry. Like, you can't deny the chemistry that's between you and this person. So the vibe that I get is that there's a lot of chemistry between the both of you, but any time that you would try to take it as something more, even if you just ask for them to clarify, like, okay, you just said this to me, like, there's no way that you weren't flirting with me. Like, let's say, I feel like this person would deny, or this person would run. You know, it's almost like this person really liked the chemistry and the attraction between the both of you. But any time that it got to be serious, or any time I don't know how else to describe it, but it's like any time that it got to the point where maybe it was a little bit too much, and not because you were too much, but because they too were like, they were doing the flirtation too, whatever the case might be. But it's almost like every time that things went, this is how I'm getting it or hearing it, like every time things went a little bit too far between you and this person, they'd run. And I feel like perhaps that's why, like, if this person, let's say if this person's already making somewhat of a comeback, that's why I feel like you're being urged to allow it to unfold naturally, and to have a relaxed or lighthearted attitude when it comes to this connection. Because any pushing that you do in regard to this person, they're not at a place yet where they have healed and grown from whatever this bullshit is that they've done in the past. So they will get scared and they will run again. I hope that makes sense, my pile twos, in some way, shape, or form. I feel like that's pretty much it. But I hope that makes sense for those of us who it is meant for. Thank you so much, my pile twos, and I hope that everybody has a wonderful day. Hello, my pile threes, my clear quartz pile. Let's take a look at what your person wants to say to you. Okay, let's see. Some messages from your person. What do they have on their mind? What have they been wanting to say to you? We have, you still take my breath away. My family and upbringing are a bigger factor than I realized. I wish I had told you how much you really meant to me. It really was me, not you. And I will come back for you. So this is, I feel, gearing up to perhaps be another no contact situation. I've said this to the other two piles. I always start these messages from your person readings with the intention of them either being contact or no contact. But at this point, pile 3, I can officially label this as a no contact messages from your person reading at the time that I post it. Let's get some more messages out here. Okay, I should have been more honest with you about how I was feeling at the time. We have seeing you reminds me of the things I know deep down, and that's not always easy to deal with. I'm sorry I couldn't do right by you. I just have something else to do right now. Please try and understand. For some reason, I feel like that card jumped out for every single pile. I could be wrong, but I think it jumped out for every single pile. And we have your beauty still moves me. So obviously this person is very much so still attracted to you with the you still take my breath away and your beauty still moves me card. Let's get a few more cards out here, a few more messages from a deck that I made myself a while ago. Okay, we have I just get so jealous, or I get so jealous when I see you with someone else, but I don't want you for myself. How many times do I have to apologize? These are getting a little aggressive. This deck is getting a little aggressive there. And I just wish I could just tell you how I feel. So, this person seems to be a little bit all over the place. Not much though, but maybe just a tad. I'm really curious to see what the current energy of this connection is. So I'm going to start pulling some oracle cards for that, but I would say that you and this person are perhaps low or no contact with one another. I feel like, well, not unfortunately, this is fortunate. Their attraction to you is still, again, very much there. However, I don't really feel like this person's making movement forward toward you at this time. And I say that because they don't want you for themselves, at least not right now. And I also feel like they haven't really dealt with what they needed to deal with yet in order to make them a better partner for yourself. Okay? They have something else to do right now. They will seemingly come back for you eventually, but I feel like this situation right now between you and this person could be one that's a little bit tense, especially because, so again, low or no contact, so maybe it could have left off as being somewhat tense between you and this person, because part of me does feel like they effed up in some way. You know, that they could have really screwed up here. And of course, for me, that'll bring up something like some sort of betrayal. But I also feel like it can come through as they didn't really, again, express themselves. They weren't honest with you about the way that they were feeling. They wish that they had told you what you actually meant to them. Okay, seeing you reminds them of the things that they know deep down, and that's not always easy for them to deal with. I almost feel like this person has left a lot of things unprocessed, and this my family and upbringing are a bigger factor than I realized leads into that. And I also feel like just them as a person, like they haven't dealt with a lot of things that will affect the way in which they operate in a romantic relationship. Okay, so perhaps they haven't dealt with their childhood trauma. Perhaps while they were growing up or during their upbringing, they never really had a good example of what a relationship was supposed to look like. And in some ways that caused for them to, and again, not your fault, but it's like, it kind of brings me back to like, this person's trauma isn't their fault, but it is their responsibility to heal from it. And I feel like part of what caused issues in this connection in the past and would inevitably cause issues even right now today is the fact that they haven't taken that responsibility to heal from whatever it is that they need to heal from. And until they do, they might not make positive movement forward toward you. And until they do, they might not be the best partner for you to be in a connection or in a relationship with. Okay? If to me too, it seems like perhaps you have moved on, so this person is jealous of the fact that you've moved on from them, but at the same time they weren't really opening up to you about how they felt. And not only that, but if they did do something very wrong within this connection, it doesn't really seem like they've apologized or apologized in a way in which you would take to mean that they were genuinely sorry for whatever they've done. All in all, I hope that makes sense in some way, shape, or form. Let's get some oracle cards out here to check in on the current energy of the connection. Okay, we have self-indulgence, focus on self-worth, time to heal, shadow work, self-appreciation. And of course, that could be maybe a sign for you as well. Maybe it's time to dip into some inner work at this point in time. But I more so feel like this is a huge indicator that this person has things that they need to heal from, or that this person has like, again, unresolved or unprocessed trauma, even unprocessed feelings. Like, to me, what's coming through here, and I'm not sure if this will resonate or make sense for how it was when you were in a connection with this person, but it almost seems like to me this person didn't quite, almost like they couldn't understand feelings or emotions. Like, their emotional intelligence would have been quite low. I hope that makes sense in some way, but of course that made it very difficult for the bond between the both of you to grow if this person wasn't in touch with their own emotions, and couldn't process them, and then this person not being able to understand any emotions that you might have had obviously could have caused some issues here within the connection. Okay, we have girl talk, so this card will bring up time with friends, moving on, happily single, living in the moment, having fun. So I feel like maybe that's the case for both of you. To be honest, maybe you have been focusing on your singlehood, maybe not all the time, because again, highly possible that you are with someone else, or that you have been with someone else since you and this person have broken up. But I just ultimately feel like both of you, especially this person, in a sense, for me, it's almost like appearances wise, if you were to look at this person's like social media, let's say, you would feel like they were having the time of their life. But I feel like when it comes to this person, there is something that they're missing. And I feel like, of course, that has something to do with this connection. I feel like they obviously still feel some type of way about you. And I feel like those feelings never ended. It's more so like they just couldn't express them, and they didn't really care to. Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense, but that's kind of what I'm getting from this. But anyway, I feel like appearances wise, this person seems like they're very happy on the outside, but maybe even you have some insight to this, especially if you were with this person, because I feel like for many of us, this is probably somebody that we dated or we were in a relationship with, and this person just wouldn't open up. This person was always guarded. They were maybe even always on defense mode, and it just was kind of a, for lack of a better word, it was just kind of like a crappy relationship. So you were like, okay, I'm done with this and I'm moving on with my life. But anyway, I feel like you have some insight, perhaps, especially for those of us that have perhaps dated this person. It's almost like you have some insight into the fact that this person really wasn't as happy as they would make themselves appear to be. So again, I'm not sure who that makes sense for. I'm not sure if that's just some added or extra confirmation for someone that's listening to this, but that's something that I'm picking up on here. Either way you slice it, I feel like both of you are at least appearing to be happily single, or you yourself might happily be in another relationship right now. Ultimately, just, trying to move on from the connection that occurred here. And lastly, we have the keys on a ring. Okay, we have many options: decision, unconventional, string along, one night stand. So that to me can bring up a lot of different things. First and foremost, it could be that you yourself felt like you were being strung along or led on by this person. Another thing could be that one of the ways or one of the things that they need to apologize for is because of something like cheating. Okay, so again, you would already know. I always like to say this too. I wouldn't be telling you any new information here when it comes to that. So if you know that this person cheated on you, then again, that's maybe another bit of confirmation for you. But if you do not have prior knowledge of that, I'm not telling you new information here. So I hope that makes sense. But either way, that could be one of the many things that this person feels like they have to apologize for. And this could be one of the many reasons why you feel like you can't really, not like you haven't forgiven this person in that inner work type of sense, but that could be one of the many reasons why this person, it doesn't really matter how many times they apologize to you, you're not willing to take another chance to get hurt again by this person. You'd rather just move on and live your life than wait around for this person to grow up and heal. So I hope that makes sense, my pile threes. Okay, let's get just a few more oracle cards out here as far as the current energy of this connection. Okay, we have, actually right after that, we have the coffin card. So even with this, so the coffin card, endings bring new beginnings, growth, change, liberation, transition. I feel like even with that said, in whatever way that you felt like this person was stringing you along or leading you on, or again, if this person did betray you or cheat on you in some type of way, that's what caused the end of the connection. Okay, and I feel like either way you slice it, this person did do something that really hurt you here. And it wasn't, it's for pile 1 and 2. And the reason why I'm saying it like that, I guess, is because for pile 1 and 2, it was possible that the person didn't act, and that's part of what they felt sorry about, was that they never took their chance, or they never expressed their feelings. I feel like when it comes to this person's apologizing because they, let's say, committed like some type of action toward you that really hurt your feelings. So I hope that makes sense. Whether it was that they were manipulative and they were leading you on, and maybe they were still like seeing or talking to other people. Maybe, again, even for some of us, maybe this person did cheat on us or betray us in that way, whatever the case might be. I strongly feel like for us, pile 3, this person did something to us. And that's why, that's what they're apologizing for. And that's even part of the reason why seeing you reminds me of the things I know deep down, and that's not always easy to deal with. Part of what they could know deep down is that they, at times, treated you like shit, and there's really no coming back from the hurt or the pain that they know they caused you. The good news here still, though, is the fact that I feel like as far as you're concerned, you have grown, you have changed, you have healed, you have moved on. And you're happy in your life now. And even with that, like, you're happy in your life now, and I feel like this person's still kind of miserable in their own life. So, let's get 2 more cards out here. My pile 3s. We have the camera card, so we have reminiscing, keepsake, perception, learn from the past, make memories. And I feel like in that regard, it would highlight that this person's missing you. I feel like maybe at times there's parts of you that miss the good times within this connection, although I'm not sure how many of them that there were. I feel like this person does, I feel like this person recognizes and acknowledges that they need to learn from their past mistakes, but they haven't grown a lot. But maybe even in that sense, that's the beginning of their growth, is recognizing and acknowledging that there's certain things that they need to do for themselves, but I don't really know how much work they've actually done yet. That I feel like is minimal, but at least them recognizing it or acknowledging it is the first step in helping yourself, let's say. But aside from that, I would say the camera card could be an indication of this person keeping up with you in some way, shape, or form. That brings me back to I get so jealous when I see you with someone else, because obviously they have some type of way of seeing you be with someone else or moving on with your life through perhaps social media. So I also look at the camera card at times as like this person creeping on you or creeping on your social media, let's say. And we have the sunglasses card. It's funny how some repeating cards jumped out between all 3 of the piles. So we have watching, looking, stalking, gaslighting, perception, and focusing out. So one thing first and foremost, I believe pile 1, I had this card jump out as well. So leading back to the camera card, I would again say maybe that's an indication of this person creeping on your social media or keeping up with you on social media, and that's how they're seeing you with other people, and that's how they're seeing you happily moving on with your life, etc. So that's what I get from the watching and looking. Really not so much stalking, at least I hope not. But then we have the gaslighting, and maybe part of what this person knows that they have to apologize for is the fact that they were emotionally manipulative throughout the duration of the relationship with you. And now we have the focusing out. And I feel like the focusing out, at least a very similar message. So like if you go through, or if you felt drawn to pile 1 also, and you happen to listen to that before coming to this one, I'm kind of going to explain it the same exact way. Well, actually a little bit differently. So the focusing out to me is going to bring up for me that this person wasn't really focused on prioritizing the connection. They were prioritizing a lot of other things external to the connection. So you weren't getting what you want, need, deserve, and desire from the connection. You were not getting this person's time, effort, and energy. For pile 3, though, I feel like their focusing out could go back to the keys on a ring card. Maybe their focusing out was them focusing on, especially if they were a liar, cheater, betrayal type, maybe their focusing out was on other people who they were seeing. Or maybe their focusing out was on people who they were cheating on you with. And again, I'm not telling you new information. That would be information that you already knew. You know, perhaps their focusing out was even them just focusing on everything and anything else. Maybe they're friends, for example, and they weren't prioritizing you within the connection. Whatever the case might be, I hope that some version of that makes some type of sense for what occurred within this connection. All in all, it does seem like to me that this person is staying away, but this person still is hoping that at some point in time, and I feel like, again, this person's acknowledging the fact that they need to change or that they need to heal, and I feel like they know that they're not at that point yet. So they will come back for you, perhaps at some point in the far off future, but for right now, it seems like this person is staying away because they haven't exactly dealt with whatever it is that they need to deal with. I hope that that makes sense in some way, my pile 3s. Thank you so much for allowing me to read for you today, and I hope that everybody has a wonderful weekend.